Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. It's Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. Welcome to the Ross Board of Education work session. Mrs. Logan, could you please call the roll?
Present.
Mr. Schnell. Here. Mrs. Webb. Here. Mr. Van Winkle.
Here. So we have a work session, a couple presentations first. If you could just talk about the work session agenda. Dr. Kunkel, the floor is yours.
Yes, we have Mr. Raymer in the Fine Arts Department. Been looking forward to this presentation for a while, so I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Raymer, and looks like he has some students with him and a teacher, so welcome.
Safety in numbers, folks. So let me, thank you for having me. There we go. So we'll make sure this presentation is working. There we go. I just have a slideshow to run while I'm speaking, so I'm not going to read to you what's on the screen. Hopefully it'll just be pictures. And this is all artwork by our students at Morgan and Elda. And that's just going to loop, so you can watch that. I'm not going to speak about it. But tonight with me are some students, which I'll introduce in a second, and Ms. Tregesser, who's one of our art teachers at RIS as well as the middle school. Thank you for having me. I know for a lot of our students that are here, they've never been to a board meeting, and this is actually the first time I've ever been asked to speak, other than when we were buying uniforms back in 12 years ago. So I'm excited to do that as well. The arts department consists of two teachers, one at Morgan and one at Elda. For the elementary, we have two teachers in the middle school for visual art. We have two teachers in the middle school for music. We have two teachers in the high school for visual art. We have two teachers in the high school for music. And then the elementaries and the middle school teachers are all shared. They each teach a class at RIS for whether it's visual art or music. As you probably know, the band department, the music department, the choir department, the fine arts are very successful at Ross, and we're very proud of the long legacy of that. Coming in tonight, I was met with probably 900 parents down there getting ready for the Legacy Championship, which is happening this weekend. So it's not just the kids that we deal with the music department and the fine arts, it's also the parents, and there's a lot of help that go into making our programs as successful as they are. The person I'd like to introduce is Ms. Tregesser, and she's going to talk about her fine arts, the visual arts at RMS and maybe RIS. So take it away.
All right, here I go. I'm going to sing. Hi. So normally I'm not used to speaking on the mic because I'm normally a really loud individual already. When Mr. Raymer reached out to the fine arts and said we would be presenting and could you throw me some video or pictures, I was like, no, I'm visual. These people need to see the real deal art. So I'm bringing it to you today. Just one of the projects that my students currently just got finished doing, and it's our architectural letters. And they are truthfully the kind of the reuse, recycle. So if any of your students ever bring cereal boxes in, I give them candy for this because we use a ton of them. And of course, they're just going in the recycling bin, so I encourage them to bring them in so we can use them in the art room. But they have their opportunity to build a letter based off their first or last name, and there's math in this. We talk about other careers in art, architecture, those type of things, so trying to bring all avenues of other core subjects in. But measurement, you think this would be easy, but sometimes it's very hard, them and a ruler. So just making sure that their Dixie cups are actually going to fit and measure. They have to be able to fit around the whole diameter and form of this actual letter. And so then they build them, and we put Dixie cups on them. This would be, of course, the front portion. And sounds pretty easy, but quite difficult and challenging for a student sometimes. And I would challenge you, if you want to come on in and build one, you're welcome at any time. But we actually then, they put sides on it, and then we secure it, and then we plaster them. And if this is actually, they love this, because this is, I can't hold this mic, Ann, but this is actually casting that they would maybe cast on a leg or a broken arm or whatever. So they love that idea. And then they get to bedazzle. So like, I encourage them to, of course, reach out to their inner being and what they love. So if you look at this one, of course, this one must love the new Fast and Furious movie that's coming out. So kind of cool. I'm gonna let you, feel the whole idea. Of course, we have some others that are like to be the visual painters. I have individuals that love to bring photos into their art, that is important in their life. Of course, I like this individual Cash Money, because who doesn't need this in their life? And then, we have those amazing students. They're also encouraged to design a letter that is unique. It doesn't have to just necessarily be a block letter, but great skill here with just choosing painting. And these are 7th graders, so they do an amazing job. So that's that letter, that project. We do a ton. If you've been at the middle school currently right now, we've just got done with a huge watercolor project, and they're hanging up in the hallway. They're amazing. So it's reverse watercolor. So if you're ever in there, please walk down the hallways and check it out. And last but not least, we did a collaboration with Shepherd's Ground just recently. It's a new coffee shop in Ross. And they reached out for a kindness week. And the 7th graders at RMS actually designed their coffee sleeves. And when you pick up a coffee, they will have a message. All the local schools, all RIS did it, high school did it. We were just chosen at the middle school to present it in the art room, so I definitely encourage them to do their best work. So I have a copy for each one of you, just some of the messages if you have not made it down to the coffee shop. I hear sales are up, so Treasurer, I'm sure you're loving that. And, it's just an awesome way to kind of give back to the community and for the kids to kind of understand small business as well. So just nice, kind messages. And a parent just came up to me and said, oh my gosh, I think I got a middle school one. And it's so uplifting just to have that word of kindness, even if you don't know that. So from a student at Ross. So that's just one aspect. We do many things in the art room. So by all means, visit. And you will be on. I was going to have you all draw it tonight, but I didn't do that. So, all right, that's it. Yay, middle school.
Thank you, Terry. She and I grew up in the same neighborhood. It's odd that the people that we know. I used to play with her sister and her when we were real young out in Millville. So it's neat to work with her now. One thing I mentioned is PBL is a big buzzword, right? And as I've done 30 years of teaching, buzzwords come and go. But I think project-based learning is something that the music department and the visual art department, as you can see, that's what we do every day. When we come, for a marching band show, getting ready for that and putting that together, it's a project, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of hard work to get there. Same thing with our art projects that she's described, and definitely we've got a project in the works of the Legacy Championship coming up this weekend. So I think our kids learn PBL just because it's a music or a fine arts class. So I don't know if this is on your calendars or not. All of our concerts and art shows are on the district calendar, but we met at the PD Day this week, and a couple to put on your calendars are the Elda Art Show is March 23rd, and the next night Anna Morgan is their art show on the 24th. So without any further ado, I want to introduce the folks that I brought because Talking is probably something you guys hear a lot of, but I want to introduce our band president. This is Natalie Jansen. Tell us, Natalie, besides she plays clarinet, your mom went to Ross and was in the band. What else do you do, Natalie, besides that? Let me give you the mic because you got to be able to, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm also a National Honor Society. I'm vice president of the Hamilton Community Foundation's Youth Philanthropy Committee, which is a lot in itself. I've been involved in mock trial and history club, and I take lots of CCP and AP classes. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Okay, that's solid. There you go.
That's one thing I think you're fine. Thank you, Natalie, for coming. One thing I think is interesting about our students in band and choir and fine arts is they do a lot of other things. It's not just they play the clarinet. And I'll introduce these guys, let them tell you about themselves. This is Mitch Bowling, Derek Morrissey, who's a senior, and Mitch is a junior. Derek Morrissey is a senior. You might know that last name. Miss Morrissey retired from Morgan as the secretary after a lot of years. That's his grandma. And Chester Parker is also a junior. So tell us what else you guys do besides play those trombones.
I also do the jazz band. I do show choir.
I am in FFA as well as the robotics team here at Ross.
I'm in both jazz bands, the middle school and high school, and I also do robotics and tennis.
And I'm really proud of that we can at Ross let kids do all of those things and excel at them. So they're going to play a piece from Beethoven. This is it Trio for Trombones? Did I get that right? They just came back from a contest we did a couple weeks ago for the OMEA Solo and Ensemble Contest. This is an ensemble, considered chamber music, and they're going to play just part of it for you. I think, it's kind of interesting to watch trombones because of the slides. So take it away. Can you catch their sound without this? Yeah. All right. They're going to just play a part of it. Great job, guys. Thanks for coming in and being part of this tonight. That piece is obviously for trombones, but originally was for three voices. So, by Beethoven, right? So there was three German voices. I can't tell you what it actually means or what the lyrics really were, but you did a great job. Just hang out a minute. I'll walk you guys out. Just to go over some of the extracurriculars before I close, Mr. Morlock heads up the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade bands and assists me at the high school. He's got 130 kids in the program at the middle school. Mr. Finkbein, who's busy right now getting ready, has had a great season with the high school show choir. They've been getting grand champions one after another, as well as Miss Barnett with the junior high. They have 375 kids from grades 4 through 12. This year we started a choir at the RIS building for the 4th graders and the 5th graders. So they are doing awesome as usual, but I hate to say as usual because they work really hard, and they this year are doing just fabulous with both show choirs as well as their choir during the school day. They're going to Nashville here in March, or it might be April. And then the high school band, which I'm I'm in charge of, the high school band and the jazz band. We have around 130 kids in the group, depending on the year. This year is about 120. But we are, as you know, going down to or over to New York City here at the end of the month. We're going to be playing in the Reds opening day parade this year. We're getting ready for all those things. This time of year, we're working on concerts that are going to happen in May and in March, and the Hall of Fame parade, or the Reds parade, as well as what we're doing in New York. So there's a lot going on right now in the band department. And are there any questions for me, I guess, before I shut up? Yep. All right. Yep, that's another thing we have to do. Yep. Play graduation, right? Yeah.
Mr. Chanel, do you have anything?
No, I just want to thank you guys for coming out, and but also I appreciate the fine arts emails that you send.
Do you?
Yeah,
You get those?
Yes, to be able to see all the cool stuff that's going on. So
Great.
thank you for doing
Yeah.
that.
State of the art. Yeah. State of the arts. Right. Thank you.
Mrs. Hayes?
No, I'm good. Thank you for coming.
Mrs. Webb?
Yeah, same. Thanks, guys, for coming. And Mr. Thank you for sharing the artwork of the kids. I enjoy seeing what my own children bring home. We have it displayed up in the house, so it's amazing. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Stregasser and Mr. Raymer, for the presentations. That was probably the first time since I've been on the board that was great. Thank you so much for setting that up. I know COVID and everything threw everything off and catching up for all those, but thanks for setting that up. That was pretty good. Yep.
Mr. Hall will be here at 6:45, closer to 7. So I suggest we go into executive session
Okay.
for personnel reasons, and then when Adam and his team gets here, we can either do it before 7 or
That's
even
fine.
during
Yeah,
the public
go.
session.
Yep. So can we have a motion to go in executive session for personnel reasons with no action to follow? Could we have a first? No action to follow from executive session?
Oh.
Right? Am I right, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, thank you, okay.
And I know I got
And do you have action that what you want to follow with, or
The whole board meeting, that's action.
we'll reconvene for the whole
All
board
right.
meeting? Can we get a first for that, please?
Motion.
Mr. Chanel? Mrs. Hayes?
Yes, second.
Could you please call the roll?
Mr. Chanel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter,
Yes.
Mrs. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Van Winkle.
Yes.